Hello to you wherever you may be in the world. Today we are chatting about personal branding, what it means to you, and how you show up. So it turns out that in 2020, it is everybody's business to become a personal brand. And you can't help being a personal brand, especially if you've got 1 to 2 personal profiles out there on social media. So this relates to creative entrepreneurs and business owners. If you've never ever thought of are you a personal brand or not, now is the time to start thinking about it. Reason being is that we are moving progressively on very well into the digital medium of things and social, digital and social. And what this means is that a lot more people, because of the pandemic, they're considering more things about how they show up innovatively online, how they stand out, and also how they can contribute to making a meaningful impact. So you might be thinking things like, gosh, there's so many people out there doing similar things like I am doing, selling similar things that I am doing, or I'm gonna try this, and that opportunity because it's the next best opportunity. It's going to pay well, and let me grab that opportunity. So thanks for joining me today, and welcome. My name is Chico. I am a little bit enthusiastic today, more than usual. I went walking. Yesterday was a challenge. I had brain fog, and whatever else I had yesterday, my brain was just like, no, we're not here. We're not functioning. And am I going to get out of that headspace due to fibromyalgia? That's a gift that I've been given. And then today is another day. And that's how we play it when it comes to being an entrepreneur or a person, just a normal person. So what are we talking about? Yes, we're talking about personal branding. Let me read a few statements to you, which I was reading while I was outlining my blog vlog post, and I'll drop the link below should you want to look at more additional information about what it means to be a brand. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. So I was reading an article on Influencer Hub, and there are a few statements which stood out to me in terms of quotes. So the first one is by Simon Sinek. If you haven't heard of him, do look him up on YouTube, Google his books. It is worth reading and learning a little bit about your why and what he talks about as well. So the first quote by Simon Sinek is, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, and what you do simply proves what you believe. Then the second statement I saw is, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Reason being, when it comes to starting up an entrepreneurship venture or going on the journey, you can get involved in thinking that it needs to be complex, overthink it, and do things which are more challenging rather than starting from where you are right now and then building on that, which makes it much easier. Let me see if there's also like another statement. Okay, so the other thing that I came across rather than a statement or quotation is your story. Things such as I believe, my mission, customer problem, my solution, credibility, and then happy ending, which are all meaningful ways to develop your personal story and your brand personality. So let's go back to the beginning where I talked about in 2020, and it's not only 2020, for people who've already been out there, there's tons of people who have been developing their brand. 2020 is more significant because it's forced people to remain at home, to think of like new ways of working. Let me turn my volume off on my laptop actually. I'm getting all this beeping in the background. So thinking of creative ways to venture into becoming an entrepreneur and actualizing your greatest potential if you're one of those individuals. So the definition that I found from Forbes magazine, what personal branding means. Personal branding definition is basically something that is meaningful, let me start all over again. Personal branding is the definition or meaning of your public persona. It consists of your core values, your beliefs, your purpose, and your goals. It has a lot to do with your personality, and what you currently stand for. Last week, I hope that you can resonate with that. Last week, I was in a webinar with Kelly Miller, founder of KM Transformational Branding. And here are a few questions that she posed as well to us as we're listening to it. I always find attending educational things, even when you think you know it, we don't know it all. It's always good to like tapping into educational resources. So some of the things that she talked about around personal branding is to consider: what is your personal brand story and personal characteristics? How do you authentically show up as a person and as a personal brand, personality, your characteristics? Then number 3, which I thought was a great exercise to do, is to choose 3 words which best describe who you are as an individual. Then to go and ask somebody else that you are connected with, that you trust, to provide you similar 3 words, and then you compare them to have a look at to see whether it matches up. If they match up, then it means that you are showing up as the true authentic self, what your brand story means. But if it doesn't, it just means that you just need to do a little bit more work about how you're showing up online. So for me, I am all for showing up as who you are as a brand personality. It's not that you're going to be thinking, I'm a brand personality all the time, but you are inadvertently developing a brand personality. It's important to show up as yourself. Reason being is, if you try and show up as somebody else, then that means that you have to work 2 times or 3 times harder to be somebody else. And there's no alignment, there's no connectivity. It is almost as though you're creating another persona. And to play act that is different than acting like in a movie or film, because you can then leave that persona and do something else. But as a creative entrepreneur or a small business owner, if you're not showing up as your authentic self, it becomes tiresome. It becomes something like, oh, you can't really deliver consistently and continually because you're not being yourself. So to me, personal branding means aligning instinctively and in your gut with things that you visualize, things that you're passionate about, things that you easily gravitate towards, things that you enjoy and are passionate about. Yes, there's going to be opportunities out there that you want to take the chance on and create something meaningful. But again, it's also thinking about not every opportunity has to be your opportunity. It's about embracing things which also connect with who you are. There's opportunities I turned down, which had to do with like social medias in terms of representing specific brands, especially when they don't align with my core values, because I do not want to veer off too much into doing things which not necessarily, they don't equate to what I'm doing at the moment. So it won't easily come up to me. Let's say if it was, I'm looking at my lampshade. I don't know why I'm looking at my lampshade. Yes, I needed to represent like a lampshade, and I don't talk about lampshades ever. I have no idea of where to even start. Then I say, oh yes, I'll take up that opportunity, but I'm talking about personal branding, lifestyle, business matters, and I have no idea. So then I say, oh, I'm going to take it up. When people come to like my platform, they'll look at it and think, where did that pop up from? And then for me as well, it will be veering off from what I stand for and what I represent. Obviously, there's going to be things like tech or gadgets that I am connected to because I use them as a blogger. So they connect and align with what I am doing. What I'm saying obviously might not be obvious to a lot of people, but they connect. Like I'm always looking for new tech and gadgets and ideas because I use them as my daily thing, even if I might not talk about them, but it would be easier for me to talk about it. So I hope that's making more sense, right? So it's being more aligned and connected to opportunities as well that come your way. Then objectives. Being intentional, purposeful, and strategic, thinking about your greater reason why you're the outcomes that you want to achieve. So I'll give you examples. Number 1, what are your motivating factors for why you do what you do? Why does it have meaning or purpose? Who do you want to connect with in terms of your ideal clients and audience? When you know this, it's easier to put a price and value on yourself so that you're connecting with the right people who you visualize will be connected to what you have to offer in terms of educational information, products, and services. Then why do you want to connect with this specific type of group of audience and personalities? What are you going to provide them in terms of educational information? What value will you contribute in their lives that will help to address the questions, the problems, or the solutions that they're looking for? It helps to think about, factor that in terms of your branding, personal, thinking about strategically how to present that information to your audience when you're curating content on social media platforms, on mediums like this, digital, and as well as on blog sites as well. How will they resonate with your personal story? Okay, so all of those encompass just some aspects of being strategic, purposeful, and intentional when you show up online. So I'm going to add in as well how you show up. It is important, I'll say it is important and essential to show up as you. Okay, not to hide too much behind images, designs, logos, because now, as more and more people have been home online, people want to connect to another human being. People are more curious about the reason why you are showing up and who you are as a person, and that is what motivates or encourages them to connect with you. Then to also think about where you show up and how you show up, because you never know who you meet and come across. I scroll through people's social media profiles, especially times when I've looked for people to work with or people to assist me with certain projects. The reason I do that is to look at their portfolio, other work that they've done before. I also look to see what are their core values and beliefs and if we align. Okay. Do they post similar things that I post in terms of entrepreneurship, mindset, travel? I'm just giving you examples. Those things matter because we are personally inclined to connect with people who are of similar minds. Because the thing is, if you connect with people who are outside of that remit, it makes it much harder. It's not to say that you can't connect with anybody else outside of that remit, but it's thinking about the core values, and those core values can be, can spread more, can be more widespread. But the more closely you're aligned, the much easier it is to work together to progress forward to achieve success outcomes that you're looking for, rather than doing a much harder work. Okay, anything else that your story matters in terms of where you've come from, where you are now, and where you're going, because you never know as well when you share your story in terms of lessons learned. You choose the type of story that you want to share. You never know who is listening and who you're helping indirectly. Also, you never know who you're connecting with. Even if they may not share, they probably can resonate with your story, or it might motivate them or encourage them to connect with you as well. That's why it pays to be authentic, because there's billions of people out there who will resonate on some level with your story and will connect you because you showed up as you. If you do not give, this is a quote, if you do not give the market the story to talk about, they will define your brand story for you. What sort of qualities and values do you exude and bring in terms of your personal brand? Oh, let me go back and name the quote actually, who wrote the quote. It was David Breyer. So some questions that I wrote myself as I was writing this blog post were, what sort of personal qualities and values do you exude and bring as a personal brand? Number 1, are you showing up as your true self? on and off camera as much as possible. What key values, number two, what key values and personal attributes are you bringing forward that help you to connect with others? So this is not about likes, comments. It is about just showing up as you, and over time, people will gravitate towards you. Through likes, comments, if that factors or that matters to you, or behind the scenes, they'll connect with you through messengers and reach out to you. Are you using the right social and digital platforms where your audience are, with similar core values? After people receive a product or service from you, how do they feel? So even if you haven't really connected with anybody, it's thinking about how do you want people to feel as a result of seeing your content, as a result of connecting with you in terms of the products and services that you provide. This again will make it much easier for you in terms of your brand story, your business, what you stand for in terms of your missions, your values. So the more aligned you are, the much easier it is to for people to be connected and to provide feedback based on what you have authentically shared, produced, and provided with them. So for some reason, this thought came, what is it? Undersell, over deliver. That just popped up in my head as I was talking. Again, that is about providing something that's meaningful and valuable to the point that it is benefiting that person. So we're always thinking of in terms of the other person rather than, although like my vision, my purpose excites me, doesn't necessarily mean that the other person will be. But through my habits, in terms of how energetic I am, that person would be motivated because it is helping them. People always think about how things can help them. Okay, so when you're presenting your information, it's more about how can I help that person? What solutions can I provide? And how can I educate that person? So when I say that person, you're thinking of one, but talking to many. Okay, so when you hear my terminology, often I'm talking to you and I'm talking to many people, because I'm talking to you because I have a person in mind of who I am talking to. And the people who I aligned with are people who've gone on a similar journey with me. They're people who probably would have gone to in a similar education path, similar career path, near the same age range as well, younger and older and in the middle, close to how old I am, have traveled around to similar locations or are looking to travel. So I'm just giving you ideas of your personal avatar or ideal person. So that's the person I always want to connect with. And my reason why, my purpose, my brand story or my personal story, what it motivates me to do what I do. I wrote somewhere, let me see, towards the end of my blog post is, where are we? Well, I can just tell it to you anyway. The reason why I do what I do it for the girls. I do it for Malawian girls because I'm closely aligned. I could have easily been one of those girls in the rural areas right now that is striving to access basic necessities in life, such as water, electricity, education, who's trying to remain a young girl for as long as possible, to finish their education, to not be married so early in life. So I look at that and I think this is my reason why my key driving factor is to be able to connect with girls like that, to learn from them, and also to impart some of my knowledge, especially for the girls who are striving for similar things, such as entrepreneurship. They want to study and become entrepreneurs in their own rights. Okay, so that's what gives me more meaning in life, aside from like family, connecting with you and helping, mentoring women. That is my greater purpose and my reason why. Okay, so that is my personal story. So I'll leave it off with, what is your personal story? Why do you do what you do? What motivates you every morning to wake up and show up and to continue what you do? And if you're struggling with showing up, what else can you think about that can truly connect you in your gut emotively to aspire to do greater things every single day beyond your family and financial needs? That is what will give you fuel and drive you forward every day to show up. The reason why I say beyond family and immediate things is that sometimes when we think about family, although we have the right intentions, that is not a drive enough, because they're there, they're present, okay, they're there every day, but it's to think about something that will help you to contribute to a greater cause. Then you feel like, in addition to your family and other things that you want in life, you are imparting something, you're leaving footprints, looking back, that make you feel fulfilled, more fulfilled in life. Adios, ciao, and I hope you have resonated with what I've talked about through my impromptu video. And I look forward to connecting with you on another video. Remember to hit the subscribe button to turn on your notifications, and also feel free to reach out and comment below. Bye for me for now.